We're all here to learn one thing. It's a language. It's a language we all speak. We learn it from the time we're babies. It doesn't matter what language we speak verbally, but it's a visual language. We all speak it. We all understand it. Some of us understand it and speak it better than others. So what that means is, I say something to you that you recognize in a different way so that it makes sense to you. So what I'm doing is I'm using what you know to communicate with you something that I want to tell you. That's how metaphors work. And so what that means is the painting, the Renaissance painters, the caveman, they were the first photojournalists. So we have this movement today. We have this movement where people think anything goes in photography. Everything is beautiful, everything works, and they'll use Photoshop, they'll use gimmicks, they'll use anything to make it different. But what they're doing is removing the strongest element of photography. They're killing their own work when they do this. I can immediately recognize in the twinkle of a second something that came before me, and then I can build on it. So when I was like 17 or so, this is one of the first, it's just an image. So we go from here, and then this is something that you build on. It's a visual metaphor that you take that and you borrow it and you build it to something else. This is, Hirohito is sick and dying in Emperor's Palace. And this is the old Japan walking away as Hirohito is dying. There's no leaves on the trees, it's raining. It looks like a funeral, although it's not a funeral yet. So that happened 10 times, but it only made a picture once. This is from Wall Street. I don't know if it's a very good picture, but it's a funny picture. And it's just, people like to pose with this bull. And so somebody's going to do something silly at some point. And just wait. So it's a funny picture, but the things that give it value today are not only this and this, but the things like the mailbox. They might not have mailboxes there because they're worried that somebody will put a bomb in them now. They don't have taxis like this. The taxis are new and modern and round. Coffee, we don't know what's going to be important about this image. Maybe there'll be a new building here that black. We don't know. So this picture was made in 1991. How important will this picture be in 2021 or 2031?
1991.
Everybody knows you're a photographer. They know you want to take a picture. You're not tricking anyone. You're not being too clever. So if you're there, and you're just like, okay, I'm here to take pictures. If they say get away, say, okay, I'll go. But look how thin this margin is. If this head is coming into there, it's not a picture. It's ruined. Okay. I like walls. I like to have a solid wall. If I find a solid wall, I'll work it. It doesn't mean, I don't know why, I just like it. So this is in Casablanca, the wall around the big soup. And so then you just wait for something to happen. I like the wall, I like the sign, I like these stripes. But then to have a blind guy walk in with his cane echoing this, and his profile, and he can't see the girl, but he's still there, and you have this girl, then all of a sudden these three elements, they work together and they make our picture. This is Ethiopia. This is not a silhouette. We don't like silhouettes. They have to be really strong if they're a silhouette. You can't really see it here, but there's tone. There's tone. There's tone. Okay, don't ever do a full silhouette. Keep some tone in there. Now this guy walks into he comes up the hill behind there and walks in the frame. And I'm like, you're ruining my picture. But there's nothing you can do, right? You just have to keep working. And you can't, once the table's set, you gotta just see how the meal's gonna turn out. And this guy who walks into my frame, who I think is ruining the picture, ends up making the picture. Okay, this is good because, you know, everybody has pictures of Saddam Hussein, you know, and so he's recognizable, but you kind of just hint at that. But also there's one element here that you don't notice, it's very important. You take away the Pepsi can, because it's the same thing with the orphan girl when she's making this move with her leg. It's something that the viewer sees on a subconscious level that registers, like, because they might go to the refrigerator and pull out a Pepsi. Instead of 1,000 or 2,000 clicks, you got 36. So when you got to about 25, you thought about the next roll of film. We have different names for it. We call it documentary photography, we call it photojournalism, we call it street photography. We have all these names for it, but there's only one type of photography. The more that photography, because it's a visual record that's trying to communicate something, the more based in reality it is, the stronger it is.
여기까지인 줄 아셨죠? 세상에서 가장 작고 가벼운 DSLR EOS 100D Canon.